questions at the I'm also invite you to ask questions regarding anything pops up in your mind in the Q&A button, and we will start now. So what exactly is Palboard? Palboard is an innovative multi-layer PVC. It's a co-extruded product which is produced from different layers of materials. This is why we call it composite. The exterior layers, as you can see here on the left, the white cap is a solid PVC, and the inner part is a foam PVC core. The reason why we chose in this combination is because of what we will speak about today, how it opens up the capabilities of making a 2D flat product into 3D element eventually. The Palboard comes in standard colors such as white, black, white, and also white, 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 which is the outdoor version. This version is suitable for exterior applications and can be used outside as well. The material comes in different thicknesses, 3, 5, and 10 millimeter, in all 3 dimensions of width, as you can see below. And as standard, the Palboard is sold with 2 sides masking, PE film, which protect the surface of the product from both of the sides, protecting from scratches, from dust, from fingerprints. We call Palboard a true green and eco-friendly product. The reason why is because more than 50% of this product is being produced from regrind and scrap material that we are collecting and reproduce from. This is a true messaging that Palram is sending out to the world by saying that we truly believe that with our responsibility for the environment, we can help to reduce the influence of different kinds of plastics to stay in landfill, and Palboard have been developed specially also for this reason. So it's a true green material. Today we're going to speak about some characteristics of the products, and I would like to start with the one which is, I think, the most important, which is the print capabilities of Palboard. As I mentioned, Palboard is a PVC material. Now, PVC have a great performance of adhesion regarding the ink. When we comparing PVC, generally speaking, not just Palram's PVC, but generally speaking, when we are comparing the adhesion properties with other polymers, such as with polypropylene, which needs to have a corona treatment, or with acrylics, which sometimes need to add a pre-treatment like a primer, and even some grades of aluminum, which are hard to print on, it seems like the PVC generally prints the best in terms of the adhesion properties. And the reason why is because of the surface tension energy of PVC, which is very, very close and almost similar to the surface tension energy of the UV ink. Because this almost similarity in between of both of the materials, the ink and also the PVC, this is the reason why the adhesion properties are superior in this case. As mentioned, one of the first applications that we started to see by using Palboard was a flat print use. instead of using acrylic with a backprint of vinyl and then to laminate it to the acrylic, end users have started to use it, the Palboard, if it's in 5mm, like in these photos, for galleries, museums. They saw how the vividness of the colors come up from the matte or semi-matte finish of the Palboard versus other materials. They didn't had to choose a different substrate to be used with, and because of that, they started with a flat print use. Regarding the processing of the material, the Palboard itself, although it's composite material with 3 layers, it's still very simple to process, to cut it, even with a paper knife. The 3mm cuts same like with a foam PVC. The 5mm cuts as well quite easily. Yes, you might gonna need to use 1 or 2 times and to take the paper knife deeply into the material, but eventually it's easy to cut with a paper knife, even the 5mm. Comparing to other materials which are composite as well, and it's more difficult. But not just cut it with a paper knife, also process it with more industrial use like CNC router and cutting tables. The great characteristics of the Palboard comes from the possibility to V-groove or V-cut it and use it as a product which you can create from it a 3D element. And the creation of a 3D element comes from this very important advantage. Once the user, the end user, the print business is route a V-cut, V-shape in this form, and it can come in variety angles of the bit device. Therefore, the material, the Palboard, allows it to be folded even up to 45 angle. And this advantage versus other materials in the market opens up variety of application and end products for the users and for the designers. And we will see in this webinar different kind of end products and application that been created because of a smart design, which took in consideration the fact that the material can be produced by this processing. I mentioned the CNC. One of an examples of a CNC router is, as we can see in this picture, of routing and cutting some design on a Palboard sheet, but the same design can be cut as well on a cutting table, which is using a knife, meaning that the material itself is very flex with the methods of processing. I mentioned how much the V-groove is important to be used with in this case, and the reason why it's so important to understand why to use that is because of the long shelving time of the product, of the end product. So once we can V-groove it, we can assemble and reassemble it many times. How many times? Personally, I even count for one time, it took me more than 100 times to assemble and reassemble piece. But in most of the cases, it will be assembled at the point of sale, maybe reassembled later on after the season was ended or the lifetime of this project. And yes or no, maybe reassembled again. Palboard is being used mostly in the last couple of years for the POP and the POS industry. Again, customers, end users, and designers have chose Palboard versus other materials because, like we can see here on the left, because it have thick foam core in black, it gives a more luxuriant look to the whole element, the whole piece of the POP. It's not observed any dust in its foam area like if it was on white. A good case study that I would like to share with you is what one of our customers in France have created. A big display in the Gallery Lafayette in Paris, France, of Jimmy Choo, the shoe designer. His display, as we can see here on the right, was created from a 3mm Palboard that been printed with a marble graphics, marble image. It looks like a big display of marble stones, but eventually it's a 3mm material, very lightweight, that's been held by a metal construction at the back. So the whole piece of the display was quite simple, but still looks very luxuriant and very attractive. Another example of using Palboard is, as I mentioned, the fact that you can assemble and reassemble it at the point of sale. As you can see over here, those 45 angle, which usually creates on a cardboard or on a carton elements, in this case was created with Palboard. But not just, as you can see, it is held liquid bottles on top of it. There is no reason or risk why it will split and will create some humid like if it was on paper-based material. Therefore, the Palboard does not absorb any any liquids. You can use it also with liquids as well. Mentioning that we have some standard colors, still our customers are all the time give us some challenges, and we are extending more and more the capabilities and the combination of colors, like this cosmetics company asked us to provide the Palboard in a black version, a very luxuriant piece. They created it from a very attractive one, which was in several branches in a lot of shops. But not just the black. We are more and more extending this family of Palboard colors. So I mentioned at the beginning that as standard, we have the white, white, and the white outdoor version, but we also have the red version, a black has just been demonstrated, and even a light gray, which looks almost like a metal one, but it's a little bit more semi-matte, so the vividness of the colors, once you print on it, looks great. Also, in terms of retail and elements that can be implemented into current shops, as we can see in this example, a company created this shelf by folding the Palboard and create from it a float shelf, which implement into these reels which are on the walls of the shop. It's very easy to assemble even for the staff of the shop, and to create these. These are much lightweight than the standards one, which are shelves from glass or from aluminum or other metals. And you have more space over here for branding it. But also other brands which understood the capabilities that can be done with the material. So for example, an Espresso created this display for Nespresso pods, a very smart design, as we can see, by knowing that once they're doing the Vgroove, they can create the whole element from a one piece, routing it, not using even no screw or glue, just using notches where the Palboard click by itself and it holds itself. So you don't need to use any extra accessories to place a 3D element, which can be a small one, but also a big one, as we will see. And again, the fact that we are folding the material and creating a 3D element gives a much more constructiveness for the whole element. So the whole element will be able to hold much higher weight. And it can be even a pole, which we are creating from a Palboard. But also, like some of the visitors familiar with, the exhibition stands, which usually using very heavy and thick materials to create those exhibition stands from. In this case, these exhibition contractors have chose Palboard to cover the metal construction. And as you can see on the left, two people can lift this big old element through the air, and it's lightweight. It looks great once you're adding these graphics on. So you don't need to use any heavy material to build a very big element. Before I'm going to run into this slide, I would like to share with you a poll. And this is a poll which I would like you to, it will take you a second to choose. So once this poll will share, please choose it as well.
You can see the result now. You see it?
No, not yet.
Now?
Now I can see it, yes.
Okay.
And like everyone can, I don't know if everyone can see it as well. But from the industry, we have here distributors, print house, POP producers, sign maker, designers. And I can tell you that the visitors which are attending now this webinar are coming globally from all the globe, not just from Europe or Far East, also from North America, Australia, and so forth. So thank you. In 2018, we launched the Palboard in North America in Global Shop. Global Shop is the sister exhibition for EuroShop. And it was the first time we launched Palboard in North America. We created the whole booth, the whole stand from Palboard. So the back walls are 10mm Palboard, and they are put in together with notches and without using any glue. Also, those creative zebra heads were created from a one piece of Palboard, routing it and then fold it like an origami style. A very attractive booth and stand that created a lot of interaction with the audiences. And a year later, in 2018, we come up with the white version, and we chose, instead of the zebra, we chose the polar bear theme, and therefore we created all this glacier look from Palboard, and also the polar bear was from Palboard, white, and again we used the same idea of creating those back walls from 10mm Palboard. It took 3 people to build this stand, 3-4 hours, all in all. Very simple, very easy, very lightweight, nothing complex at all. Still in the exhibition stands, in many cases, designer wish to add a 3D element to a plain, big, flat wall. And as we can see here on the left, these 3D elements were created from Palboard by using a 3mm Palboard, fold it by adding this V-groove cut, and have that fine line and fine fold with no cracks and with no breakage. This element was very successful. The designers shared with me later on that they took the same design and implemented it in a different exhibition show because they were really happy with the final result and with the comments they got from. But not just in the exhibition and in the POP industry, also for the house and for the garden. For example, this dog house was created from a 10mm Palboard, from a one piece of board that was routed and folded by using these notches. So the Palboard get into a space without using any glue or screws. A very smart design, a very nice outcome of using a material which allow to fold it and to create from it a 3D element. Even in terms of interior decoration, like using benches. In this case, Decathlon have used the Palboard 5mm to have these benches in the shops. But not just them, even others can create even a lounge or a small saloon from Palboard by adding also some small chairs and even a table. Still in the interior decoration, more and more designers get to know and get to familiar with the material Palboard. And once they understand the capabilities of the product, they start to implement it in their projects like we see over here. Instead of using a wood or something which is heavier to lift it into the ceiling, this designer have chose Palboard 5mm, just print on it, cut it in a shape, and use a very simple hanging system for a lightweight material instead of using a very robust and aggressive hanging system for a more heavier material. Still in the hanging elements, this nice interior decoration wood beams look alike, also made from Palboard 5mm, just by adding these nice graphics of Formica. You can see how big this size of element, and again, hanged from the ceiling, although it's from a different method, still it's a lightweight material, so it doesn't need to be used a very complex hanging system. We mentioned at the beginning that the Palboard is also have an outdoor version, the white. Some users have used it as a Palboard swing, as we can see over here. It's just the two boards of the white element with a nice print on it. Looks like a wood, but it's the Palboard. Also, because in our days we are still in some geographies with the COVID impact, then some of our customers have took the Palboard and they use it as a desk partition unit, like in this case in Denmark. In this case, you can see a plain white use, but these can be also print and add more graphics and interest for the whole element. And even in Italy, some users have used the Palboard to create an hand sanitizing stand. And again, just adding a very clever design without using a special tooling or special accessories. A very nice and brilliant, I would say, designed for using this method of hand sanitizing. And lately, we even added a new feature, which is Palboard HYG, an antimicrobial additive in the exterior part of the material, which once you print on the board, it's still active even after, meaning that the ink is not covering the effectiveness of the antimicrobial resin. In that case, you can think of places where there is a true need for an antimicrobial element, furnishing, antimicrobial furnishing. In these cases, you can create the furniture from a Palboard HYG, and you can print on it, and it will still be active afterwards. There are many places where this feature can be worked. It can be in schools, in retail, of course, in food service areas like in food courts. For example, if you want that this area will be branded, it can be print on the Palboard HYG. Also in hospitality, medical, of course, and in offices. One slide I would like to share with you is what we are facing, all of us in the world lately, is the rising of the commodities pricing. And the one which I wanted to share with you is the picture of the metal, and especially the aluminum prices, which have its highest since mid-2018. Now, the reason is not specifically because of shipping, because all the commodities have been raised up, but the pollution. China is the biggest manufacturer of aluminum worldwide. There are more and more regulations on the plants of aluminum and metals in China. These regulations shrinkage the capabilities of those plants to supply on time their goods, and therefore there is a tremendous rising of the aluminum price. We're facing it, as you can see, in a very, very high curve, and this tendency will keep for the next months for sure as well. I wanted to share with you where does Palram goes from here, and we are extending also the Palboard family of products. The first one I would like to share with you is the Palboard 2D. The Palboard 2D is 2 layers product, white and black, white solid PVC and a black foam core. This product is mostly used for a flat print applications where you would like to get a nice black back, as you can see over here, and the same white face for print the image. So it's a nice plain black with a white face for print. Another family member is the Palboard colors, as I mentioned before. We're adding more and more combination of colors. We all the time gets requests. Personally, I'm getting requests for combination of colors. There is no such as crazy. Got already the pink combination. But also, I can share with you that a big furniture company asked us for supplying a Palboard in blue and yellow, and you can understand which is the brand. So yes, more and more colors combination we're getting and sending over, and it's really fascinating to see how the end users get to know the material and use it more and more. As I mentioned, there is the Palboard HYG, the hygiene, the antimicrobial version of the material, and another fourth member for the family is the Palboard 3D Max. The Palboard 3D Max is a new member for the team. It's a much more robust have an embossed hercel finish, which is almost unscratchable. Very similar finish for ABS, very good for thermoforming and for other applications which are more, I would say, industrial, but still you can V-groove it and create from it a very nice and attractive elements. I would like to thank you all for attending this webinar. You see my details over here. I'm welcoming you for send me emails and share with me any questions you have. I would like to check, let's see.
Omer, you have 2 questions in the chat and 5 questions in the QA.
All righty then. So let's start with the QA. Where or how deep do your routers stop inside the cut? Okay, so in our Palboard fabrication guide, which is available also in our website for download, we have a specific recommendations. I even remember it's on page number 3, which we recommend to go deep up to 0.8 from the edge. The reason why is we recommend not to go through the whole foam core, but to leave a little bit of the foam material to help the exterior solid PVC to be flex and not to get any breakage. Andreas, what is the top rigid layer thickness? So it's a PVC, solid PVC, and it's the average is in around 300 microns. Also, Andreas, why is the white version not allowed to use outdoor? The reason why is because of the black color. The black absorb heat. Once it absorbs heat, it's like the feel of us walking on streets with a black t-shirt versus walking with a white t-shirt. Black absorbs more heat. There is a feel of us. Same goes with the material itself, which the heat is rising high, and therefore there is more risk where it will warpage or curved. And this is not happening with the white core version. How long stays the HYG antimicrobial effect on the surface? It seems like our other products of HYG. We give a warranty of 20 years, and same goes here. And we are measuring it all the time. And Diego, for 135-degree milling, how much material of the core of, let's say, 3mm board do you recommend to leave? I will give you a good example, Diego. I have here a product which being folded, and they use the 135-degree. I will try to share it with you. Let's see. This is 135. Very hard to say. It's very thin. They almost leave only the cap, but it can be folded into 45 angle. So this is over here, and Romel, you were saying that there is also on the chat.
Yes, and you can stop sharing so the audience can see you. Ah, right.
All right. Where is the chat? This is the chat. Okay, I don't see anything on the chat. I saw only on the Q&A.
Okay, so there was a question from Frankie.
Yeah, I see now Frankie. Hi, Frankie. Problem is Zoom, we don't have 120 for Arctur router. Yes, I'm familiar with that, Frankie. What I can say is that I know that even those who are using Zoom sometimes using other ones bits. I know that there are others which are offering more than 90 the 90 angle. In some cases, these are been created personalized for a user specifically, but they are available outside. And because I think I have your email as well, I will try to connect you with the one. Possible to speak with Zoom to make. Yeah, I've tried and I will continue to try, but definitely, yeah, no problem. Someone is asking me to speak French. Unfortunately not. Don't have this in my vocabulary. Okay. Thank you all. Appreciate you came. Appreciate of having this. Please stay tuned for more info and also check our website, our blogs, and we'll be in touch. Thank you. Bye-bye.